Right now at 5, a Missouri court rules on funding in regards to Planned Parenthood.
We've got a much cooler start for us today, but we're still above average across the region. We'll tell you how long this cool spell lasts and when temperatures are going to warm up. Have a look at the New Year's Eve forecast coming up.
Looking to learn more from aspiring journalists here at KOAM, and today we'll be learning about Joplin High School's esports team.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Buck.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is a little bit colder today than what we were yesterday. So we've been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride here. But yesterday, believe it or not, we broke a record. We set a record high yesterday. So back in 1984, we had a record of 19... It's been a long week, okay? I've been battling, I don't know what. But back in 1984, we had a record of 69, not 1969, or there would be no survivors here. But we had a record of 69, and yesterday we made the high of 71. So we broke that record. Our record low, which was a year later, by the way, was -7, and we're not near that. So, and that goes back to show you, even back then, we had those wild years. We were 69 in 84 and down to -7 in 85. So, you know, it's whatever. But we are cooler today. So let's take a look. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing some shower activity off to our east, and that's where that's going to remain for us across the region. Right now, it's 39 degrees. There's no gust on this box. It's kind of nice to see. The winds have finally calmed down. North-northwest at 6, feels like 35 out there, so a little bit more doable. So that weak cold front came through last night as promised, and it did knock us down a bit. 31 in Iola, 39 Miami, 41 Neosho, Monette, so a little warmer down there, but all of us roughly 20 to 25 degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago, but we're still above average for this time of year because our overnight lows are supposed to be in the 20s. So up north, it's a little closer to average, but the rest of us still above. All right. For your morning drive, we're cloudy, but you got a green light. We're looking good. And for your evening drive, we remain cloudy, but you're still looking good. We don't have any precipitation, no crazy winds. It's a pretty calm day, albeit a bit on the cloudy side. 51 for our high, so not quite to the 71, but again, above average for us across the area. 41 tonight, so not bad. Still holding on to those clouds, and I know a lot of folks may be preparing to celebrate New Year's Eve. Well, here's a look at what it's looking like as you head into the celebration. A cool evening, down to 48 by midnight, a low of 47. No rain in the forecast, so that's definitely a good thing. Quick check of the 7-day, because I promised it was going to warm up. So 60 tomorrow, 62 for New Year's Day. We are watching thunderstorms Monday, 66 for the high. Some of those could be a bit on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on that for you. 53 Tuesday, maybe some showers Wednesday, 42, and then down to closer to normal by Thursday, and 37 next week. But so, again, we got a little more mild weather to go through, and then we're going to start to settle back to normal. But at least we get to enjoy the holiday weekend.
No kidding. Yeah, that'll be nice.
Be better than last weekend, for sure.
Yes.
A lot better.
Yes. My weekend started off with frozen pipes, so yeah.
Now, see, this weekend they'll have
frozen busted pipes.
Oh, yeah. that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, they should be pretty good for this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, hopefully that won't happen again this year, for sure. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Pittsburgh authorities arrest 2 women in connection with stealing tires. At approximately 4:14 a.m. on Thursday morning, officers with the Pittsburgh Police Department were dispatched to a residence in the 1700 block of South Walnut for a burglary in progress. The reporting party called 911 and reported that 2 subjects were stealing tires from his carport. Police quickly arrived and, using video footage obtained from cameras owned by the reporting party, were able to see the car used by the thieves. Around 10 minutes later, police spotted a similar car in the area occupied by 2 women. This car was later determined to be the same one driving away from the scene. Officers identified the women as 43-year-old Carrie DeVore and 41-year-old Candace DeVore, and they were placed under arrest without incident. Authorities in Vernon County, Missouri issue multiple charges against an El Dorado Springs man in connection with a home invasion. On December 21st, deputies responded to a 911 call of a home intruder with a gun. Authorities say the suspect stole items from the home and left shortly before deputies arrived. A day later, authorities searched the home of 39-year-old Tommy Toothaker and found items taken from the victim's home and a firearm believed to have been used in the crime. Prosecutors have charged Toothaker with armed criminal action first-degree robbery, first-degree burglary, unlawful possession of a firearm, and stealing. He is currently in the Vernon County Jail with no bond. And a court rules on a dispute concerning funding for Planned Parenthood in Missouri. Some Missouri lawmakers tried to stop Planned Parenthood from receiving any public funding. But Cole County Judge John Beadham ruled on Thursday the funding restrictions were unconstitutional and rejected the efforts. The issue was a bill passed by the Republican-led legislature and signed by Governor Mike Parson in February to stop reimbursing Planned Parenthood for health care for low-income Medicaid patients. You can find more on the previously passed budget bill by downloading the KOAM News Now app. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly on Thursday announced nearly $3 million in support for kids exposed to drugs. The funds for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment will help better identify and support those children, increase public safety, and reduce overdose deaths. Governor Kelly says more than 140,000 Kansas kids live in environments of parents with substance abuse disorder. An estimated 5,155 infants are born exposed to substances every year. The city of Caney, Kansas has lost pressure at its water tower. The city is requesting that residents check their meter pits to see if the leak indicator is spinning. If you are a resident of Caney and your indicator is spinning, please call City Hall during the day hours. For more on the city's request, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, KOAM is always looking to hear from aspiring journalists, so we are continuing a program where we air stories that are shot, written, and edited by local students. Joplin High School One Club is making video games a competition. Joplin Eagles television student reporter Gavin Hollingshead spotlights the esports team.
Usually, you get in trouble for playing video games in school. Well, not with this team. They're the JHS esports team. Ryan Burnside leads the Smash Bros. Teams.
I've been playing Smash in general since the Nintendo 64 one came out, so since the very first Smash Brothers, because that was when I was a little kid. So I played Smash Brothers Brawl, Smash Brothers Melee, Smash 4, and then Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I've been playing for seriously like 20 years.
Burnside isn't just looking to improve at the game himself, he's also looking to help the students improve as well.
I just really like being here to support the kids and help them get these matches set up and help them get better at Smash Bros. So that they can win. And it's also fun to get to know some of the kids that I don't have in my own classes.
Matthew Goins is a player on the varsity team for Smash and League of Legends. Matthew says that the club is not just for long-timers, it's also very friendly for beginners.
That applies for both Smash Bros. And League. We have some people come in who have never played the games, that we just have them play the game a little bit and get good at the game over time.
The team meets after school 4 times a week in Mr. Bradfield's class, 4 to 6 on Mondays and Tuesdays, as well as 4 to 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
So people can come to hang out pretty much anytime that's not the tournament day, so not Monday and Tuesday. They can come hang out Wednesday and Thursday.
Burnside says that there are 2 times to try out for the team per year.
But if they want to compete, they have to try out at the start of each semester. So next spring, if they want to try out for Smash, it'll just be at the start of the spring semester, or if they want to try out for League of Legends, it'll also be at the start of the spring semester.
Bradfield says that they could expand the club into other esports. So if you are interested in esports, the team is accepting tryouts in the spring. Reporting for Jet HD, Gavin Hollingshead.
Again, thanks to Joplin High School student Gavin Hollingshead for that report. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Lady Gorillas take on the Lady Blue Jays. We'll have who dominated on the court. Plus, fashion designers get a helping hand from AI. And why shoveling snow can put you at risk for heart disease. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Pitt State women hit the floor yesterday evening for the first time since December 17. Pitt State hosting Tabor College for its final non-conference game of the year. First quarter, Alba Lozano gets the offensive rebound. Kicks out to Grace Pyle for the 3. Then Pyle finds Aaron Davis and get a bucket for 2. Game is tied at 24 after 1. Still neck and neck here. Lozano drills it from deep. She finishes with 13 points. Nice night for Sydney Holmes as well. Lays it in. She leads the Gorillas with 15 points. In the third, Pitt State starts to pull away. Harper Schreiner bucket and foul. Gorillas up by 12, and later, Corinna Gerber banks it in off the glass. She adds a double-double. 5 Gorillas score in double figures last night. Pitt State rolls by Tabor 84-69.
I thought Alba and Sid were really good. And Sid, I just didn't notice it as much, but when you look at her stats, like, wow. She had some really good drives, really aggressive drives that second half. So I think Sid definitely put herself in some positions to get some good scores. And Alba, I really think her ability to work on her positioning and rebounding early, she really just kind of roots in there and lets the ball drop to her, and then she's in a good position to score it. So I thought she had a really outstanding game.
Pitt State men also face an out-of-conference opponent yesterday evening, the Avila Eagles. Gorillas start fast. Quentin Hardrick sinks an early 3. He scores 15. Then R.J. Forney knocks it down from the corner. Pitt State quickly forces a timeout. They stay rolling. Forney with the nice pass. Calvin Polina finishes off the glass. A few plays later, Deshaun English drives, bucket and 1. English finishes with another double-double, his 6th of the season. Pitt State leads 22-4. Later, Jeremy Shaw hits the quick release 3. Pitt State beats Avila 66-54. The Oklahoma Sooners wrap up their first season under head coach Brent Venables, facing 13th ranked Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl. Sooners led at half, but the Seminoles come back and hit a field goal in the final minute to win 35-32. Javonte Barnes rushes for 108 yards and a score. Marvin Mims tallies 77 yards on 2 catches. Well, soccer legend Pele has died at age 82 after battling cancer. The Brazilian will forever be known as one of the greatest soccer players of all time. Michael George has the story.
Team Brazil paid tribute to Pele at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar with a banner bearing his photo, while fans back home prayed for the ailing soccer legend. To many, Pele is to soccer what Babe Ruth is to baseball and Muhammad Ali is to boxing, a singular athlete and personality who lifted his sport to new heights. Regarded as one of the greatest soccer players of all time, if not the greatest, Pele is so important to his native Brazil, he was declared a national treasure, which also made it difficult for him to play for any other country. Pele's accomplishments on the field are staggering. He led Brazil to 3 World Cup championships, the only person in history to win soccer's most prestigious event 3 times. He scored 77 times in 92 games for Brazil's national team. Over his career, he found the back of the net more than 1,200 times.
I got the gift from God to play football.
Born Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pele used his soccer talents to help lift his family out of poverty. He was only 17 years old at the 1958 World Cup in Sweden when he became an international star. He scored 3 goals in a semifinal win and 2 more times in a finals victory over the host nation. In 1975, Pele helped popularize soccer in America. At age 34, he joined the New York Cosmos, signing a $2.8 million contract that made him the highest-paid athlete in the world.
That time I have opportunity to learn English, to give opportunity to my family, my sons, my daughter.
10 million people tuned into his debut match, a record TV audience for a soccer broadcast in the U.S. Following his career, Pele remained an international superstar, putting the power of his celebrity behind various causes, including world peace and preventing childhood poverty. And he never stopped promoting the sport he loved, the one that made Pele a symbol of a nation and a hero for generations of soccer fans. Michael George, CBS News.
In 1999, he was named Athlete of the Century by the International Olympic Committee. Still to come, a crash on South Korean highway causes the death of at least 5 people. Plus, we're going to take another look at your weekend forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Well, we are a little bit colder out there than what we were yesterday morning. The good news is, at least for the time being, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear. So let's take a look at just how cold it is out there. We're up to down to 39 in Joplin right now. Feels like 35. north-northwest wind at 6. And that's the nice thing is we don't see that little gust icon down here. So the winds did finally calm down, and they're going to stay that way at least for a little bit. So that's good news. Now up to our north, we got some of us a little closer to where we're supposed to be this time of year, like Yates Center at 32, 31 in Iola, 34 in Chanute. Actually, now look at that, 32. I love when this updates. You can see that we really do get real-time information. 37 Lamar, 39 Carthage, and 41 in Miami and Neosho. Despite that, again, we're still 20 to 25 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago, but for the most part, still above average. If you got to get to work today, I have some good news. We got a green light for that morning commute. We're supposed to be cloudy, near 40 degrees, but no strong winds, no rains, no anything like that. Same with your drive home, where you got a green light for that as well. It's going to be mostly cloudy and hovering in the upper 40s for most of the evening drive. 51 for a high today, so we're looking at about 20 degrees colder than yesterday, because yesterday we broke our record high. Not going to do that today. We're going to stay mostly cloudy, and winds will be calm. And as we head into tonight, similar situation, a little bit cooler, 41 degrees for the overnight low. We will remain mostly cloudy. And let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, shall we? We got 60 for New Year's Eve day, 62 New Year's Day. We're watching thunderstorm chances on Monday, 66. Some of those storms could be strong. We'll keep an eye on them for you. And then temperatures kind of drop behind that, 53 Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, maybe a shower, and 37 by next Thursday. Well, artificial intelligence is helping designers create clothes of the future. Gary Baumgarten takes a special look at the software that could be behind your next outfit.
The latest trend in fashion? Artificial intelligence. It's all thanks to a new program called Ada, software developed by researchers in Hong Kong that's helping designers create clothing of the future.
I think the face covering is definitely alien-like and exciting.
So how does it work? Designers can upload sketches of clothing along with samples of materials in various colors to Ada. Within seconds, the program uses image recognition technology to create dozens of potential looks inspired by what the designer uploaded.
The rationale of developing Ada is not to use AI replacing designers. What we are talking about is AI is just a supporting tool for the fashion designers. Designers and AI can work together to come up with the final collection.
Creators agree, citing how the tool is already helping them save time while exploring new possibilities with their designs.
I think in the designing process, Ada might in fact inspire me to think about some styles that I don't often use in my design, and things I don't always do. However, it's me who has the final say.
Earlier this month, 14 designers showcased more than 80 outfits created with the help of Ada. The software is currently available throughout Europe and Asia. That brings us to our question for you this morning. Are you for or against AI in the workforce? You can vote yes or no, or well, for or against, I should say. You can do so through our website at koamnewsnow.com/vote. You can also vote through our app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We are back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, shoveling all that snow from the driveway may put you at risk for heart issues. Naomi Ruckham explains how to protect yourself.
Winter weather is sweeping across the country, and if you're on driveway duty, this is your reminder that shoveling snow can put a heavy strain on your heart. Every year in the U.S., hundreds of people die during or just after removing snow from sidewalks and driveways. According to the American Heart Association, many people face an increased risk of heart attack or sudden cardiac arrest from shoveling. Doctors say these risks exist for both people with and without a known history of heart disease. Experts estimate shoveling heavy snow may be as or even more demanding on the heart than taking a typical treadmill stress test. After only 2 minutes of shoveling, heart rates can exceed 85% of maximal heart rate, and the impact is hardest for those in the worst physical shape. There are several factors that can play a role, including increased heart rate, cold temperatures, which can cause blood pressure to spike, and frigid conditions, which can constrict the coronary artery. The best advice? Push the snow instead of lifting and throwing it. Take plenty of breaks. If you feel lightheaded or any chest pain, stop, go inside, rest, and get warm. If you're still feeling symptoms, call call 911. And experts caution even using a snowblower may put you at risk because it can still increase your heart rate and blood pressure. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Shoveling can be especially dangerous for those who have other cardiovascular risk like obesity, smoking, diabetes, or high cholesterol. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are a bit colder as we start our day today. We'll take a look at our temperatures and our next warm-up coming up.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Bach with your KOAM News Update. An office on the first floor of Joplin City Hall will be remodeled to provide working space for an expanded team to address declining neighborhoods. In 2020, the Joplin City Council set a goal of stabilizing and cleaning up deteriorating neighborhoods as part of a strategic plan. The plan to remodel a space in the City Hall building is the start of that goal. On Thursday, family and friends laid to rest a World War II veteran. Clyde Bond served in the Army during World War II. Bond lived to be 100 years old and passed away just this past Thursday. He was a fixture in Riverton, Kansas for over 70 years. He is survived by his 3 children and 12 grandchildren.
We are a little bit cooler today, on the order of about 20 degrees cooler, but still above average, a high of 51. Calm winds, which will be nice, and will be mostly cloudy throughout the afternoon. We'll hold on to mostly cloudy skies heading into tonight and drop back down for a low of 41 degrees. And as we head into the New Year's Eve weekend, 60 for New Year's Eve day, 62 for the New Year's Day, 66 Monday. Watching the possibility of some thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And then we're cooler after that. 53 Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, and 37 Thursday.
Right now,
and we are a little bit colder as we start our day today. We'll talk about how cool it's going to be today and how warm the weekend's going to be coming up.
we take you to a Joplin High School where we learn about a teacher's room and how it's from a galaxy far, far away.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So yeah, 5:30 on the dot. It's a finally Friday in the 4 states. Some of us have another long weekend coming up. So that's the one thing, you know, even though having all the holidays like back to back to back at the end of the year can be a little stressful, at least from the work perspective, some of us get an extra day off or two here and there back to back to back. So that's helpful. Helps give you a little break from all the stress. The thing is it's a little cooler today, but we have a beautiful holiday weekend in store for you. So let's dive right in. The Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear at the moment, and you can see there's showers off to our east, and they will remain off to our east for the time being. We're 39 in Joplin right now, north-northwest breeze at 6, making it feel like it is 35 degrees across the area. A little colder for our start today. 32 in Yates Center, Iola, 33 Parsons, 41 Miami, Neosho, Monette, and 39 in Carthage, putting us anywhere from 20 to upwards of, as you can see, almost 25 degrees colder now than what we were yesterday at this same time. For your morning drive, got a green light. We're going to be cloudy, but otherwise not too bad. No crazy winds. Same for the drive home. Mostly cloudy skies, but a pretty good drive for you. Heading for a high of 51 today under those mostly cloudy skies with, again, the calm winds. And as we head into tonight, we're going to be mostly cloudy, dropping back down to 41 degrees. 7-day forecast, take a look. We're up to 60 for New Year's Eve day. Should be dry. 62 New Year's Day and mostly cloudy. Watching thunderstorm chances on Monday, 66. As we've been mentioning, some of those storms might be a little on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And we cool down, though. 53 on Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, maybe a stray shower or two, and down to 37 by next Thursday under partly cloudy skies. So we're going to kind of start trending downward after these storm chances on Monday. But we still got a few mild days ahead of us and a pretty decent holiday weekend.
That's nice. You can't beat those temperatures for the end of the year.
Oh, no kidding. You know, ending the year and starting the new year in the 60s, it's not bad. But remember,
a little bit of a blessing after last week.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. But we are still in winter.
Yes.
And we got to remember that this is only temporary. Winter will be back. Yeah.
Does
not
it
the
have
news
to
we
come
want.
back? Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has to come back, and it will.
We've been cleaning out our garage, and we finally found our blow-up snow sled.
Oh, all
So,
right.
yeah,
well, if we get another
it was
snow
too
again,
cold to use it the last time, so it didn't matter. So
maybe you get a good use out of it before the winter's over.
that's the only good thing. But it needs to be good enough snow to build a snowman. Last time that didn't work. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Pittsburgh authorities arrest 2 women in connection with stealing tires at approximately 4:14 a.m. on Thursday morning. Officers with the Pittsburgh Police Department were dispatched to a residence in the 1700 block of South Walnut for a burglary in progress. The reporting party called 911 and reported that 2 subjects were stealing tires from his carport. Police quickly arrived and used video footage obtained from cameras owned by the reporting party. Were able to see the car used by the thieves. Around 10 minutes later, police spotted a similar car in the area occupied by 2 women. This car was later determined to be the same one driving away from the scene. Officers identified the women as 43-year-old Carrie DeVore and 41-year-old Candace DeVore, and they were placed under arrest without incident. Authorities in Vernon County, Missouri issue multiple charges against an El Dorado Springs man in connection with a home invasion. On December 21st, deputies responded to a 911 call of a home intruder with a gun. Authorities say the suspect stole items from the home and left shortly before deputies arrived. A day later, authorities searched the home of 39-year-old Tommy Toothaker and found items taken from the victim's home and a firearm believed to have been used in the crime. Prosecutors have charged Toothaker with armed criminal action, first-degree robbery, first-degree burglary, unlawful possession of a firearm, and stealing. He is currently in the Vernon County Jail with no bond. A court rules on a dispute concerning funding for Planned Parenthood in Missouri. Some Missouri lawmakers tried to stop Planned Parenthood from receiving any public funding. But Cole County Judge John Beadham ruled on Thursday that the funding restrictions were unconstitutional and rejected the efforts. The issue was a bill passed by the Republican-led legislature and signed by Governor Mike Parson in February to stop reimbursing Planned Parenthood for health care for low-income Medicaid patients. You can find more on the previously passed budget bill by downloading the KOAM News Now app. Well, KOAM is always looking to hear from aspiring journalists, so we're continuing a program where we air stories shot, written, and edited by local students. This next story comes from Joplin High School. Different teachers like to decorate their classrooms to fit their own personalities. And Joplin Eagle Television student reporter Miles Griffith shows us one classroom in a galaxy far, far away.
It's not every classroom where the teacher has practically a Star Wars museum. Dave Smith teaches film at Franklin Tech, and it's not hard to guess his favorite movie.
And so I really have been a Star Wars fan my whole life since I was about 6 years old and first saw the movie in the theater for the first time when it came out. So yeah, I had a lot of cool Star Wars toys when I was a kid, but as I've gotten older, I've been able to get cooler toys.
Not only does Smith have a room full of toys, he also has a room housing a life-size Darth Vader and an R2 that is still under construction. Smith says that Darth Vader took almost 2 years to build and that R2 is going on year 6.
What is my favorite of the things that I've collected? Well, I'm sure I would say it would be a toss-up, I guess, between Vader and R2, just because R2 has had so much work put into it. But Vader is Vader's my favorite. He's always been my favorite villain, my favorite bad guy. So having him standing here is pretty neat. That's probably my favorite thing that I've got in the room.
Vader watches the students as they work on audio and film projects. One of Smith's students is Josiah Rizzo, and he says this is the coolest classroom in the whole school.
The feeling of this class is really comforting in regards to the fact that I'm a huge movie buff myself. So when you come in, you see all the posters, all the music that he has set up. It doesn't have the typical classroom confinement, and it's more of a space where you can be creative.
Smith says any student is welcome to come and take a selfie with Vader, and even Missouri Governor Mike Parsons joined in the fun.
Pretty cool. Again, thanks to Joplin High School student Miles Griffith for that report. Well, this morning we're discussing AI at work.
It's all thanks to a new program called Ada. It's software developed by researchers in Hong Kong that's helping designers create clothing of the future. So how does it work? Well, designers can upload sketches of clothing along with samples of materials and various colors to Ada. Now within seconds, program uses image recognition technology to create dozens of potential looks inspired by what the designer uploaded.
Creators say the tool is already helping them save time while exploring new possibilities with their designs, which brings us to our question. Are you for or against AI in the workforce?
So far, 60% of you say you are against it. 40% of you say you are for it. And I think in this particular case, listening to the story, it's more meant to augment the designers, maybe give them some ideas or some launching points that they may not have considered initially. They said in the story, it's not meant to replace the designers. It's meant they have a rough idea of what they'd like and they can put it into this thing, and then Ada generates some ideas and they go, okay, well, I kind of like that, but what if we take this and do this with it? So it's just meant to augment them. I think AI augmenting you in the workforce is one thing. It's AI taking over for you. That's a totally different thing.
What about AI replacing you or me?
I don't think that it could. We're just too awesome. And plus, I've seen those AI programs where they get into the strangest conversations with each other. The banter between two AI anchors would just be really bizarre. And I don't think that people would really like that all that much. Granted, when we talk, it's really bizarre too, but it'd be stranger with AI, I think.
But sometimes people think that this is adorable.
On occasion, they do. On occasion.
Others think it's just annoying. Sorry for that.
Most, I think, find me annoying.
No, not at all. You're the adorable one.
Okay, I'm sure.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a family with a son who was visually impaired welcomes someone new to their family.
Plus, thousands of people gather to protest as Israel puts together its new government. We'll have the latest.
You're watching. Topping World Watch, a highway crash ignites fire, killing 5 and injuring 37 near Seoul, South Korea. Cargo truck crashed into a bus in a highway tunnel on Thursday. Reason for the collision is still unknown. South Korea's National Fire Agency said 3 of the 37 injured are in serious condition, the rest with little injuries. Several thousand protesters gathered outside Israel's parliament yesterday as the country's longtime former leader Benjamin Netanyahu was sworn in as prime minister. Haley Ott reports from London.
It's been described as Israel's most extreme far-right government since the foundation of the country. Benjamin Netanyahu is returning to power today for the 6th time as a leader of a coalition of ultra-nationalist and ultra-Orthodox parties that critics say could make up the most intolerant government in Israel's history.
Netanyahu in his previous governments always had some moderate party within the coalition, centrist and even left-wing party. There is no such party today in the coalition.
Netanyahu was ousted from office last year over opposition to his leadership while on trial for corruption. His new government has pledged to prioritize settlement expansion in the West Bank, raising alarm bells over what's considered key territory for a future Palestinian state. And some coalition partners are seeking to restrict the rights of Palestinians living in Israel, Jews who are not Orthodox, women to serve alongside men in the military, and LGBTQ people. American Jewish organizations have warned that the new Israeli government's hardline stance could damage ties with U.S. Jews, the majority of whom are not Orthodox. The new government is expected to remain in power for a full 4-year term. Haley Ott, CBS News, London.
Netanyahu is still facing charges of corruption. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
As we take a look outside, the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline, we're looking good. Remember yesterday morning, just with all the moisture, the evaporation, everything else, it looked like it had rained, even though it hadn't. But we are drier today. There's not really much snow left out there, which is pretty nice. Taking a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see there's some shower activity out east of Branson across south central Missouri. And they may even see a few thunderstorms later today, but we will remain dry across the area. We are still colder, though, than what we were yesterday. 39 in Joplin, feeling like 35 with a north-northwest breeze at 6 miles an hour. Across the region, further north you go, it's a little colder. 32 Yates Center, Iola, 34 Fort Scott, 35 Nevada. Head south, it's warmer, say Chatopa at 37, 39 Miami. We have 41 Neosho, Anderson, and 39 Monette and Carthage, putting all of us upwards of 25 degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago. Now, for your morning commute, we have a green light. Calm winds, cloudy skies, a little dreary looking, but Good driving weather. Same for your drive home. Will be mostly cloudy, calm winds, not too bad. Heading for a high today of 51 degrees with those mostly cloudy skies. Clouds will pick up overnight. We'll have mostly cloudy to just plain old cloudy skies, dropping back down to a low of 41. And for New Year's Eve, if you're planning some celebrations, by 6 p.m. tomorrow, we're looking at 51 down to 49 by 9, and by midnight, as you ring in the new year, we're looking at 48, and we'll drop 1 more degree towards sunrise for an overnight low of 47 degrees. Now, let's take a look at the 7 days. So for your high, by the way, tomorrow, while you're getting ready for the festivities, we're looking at 60, mostly cloudy. Looking at 62, New Year's Day, mostly cloudy skies, good weather to sleep in on. And if you need an extra day of rest, Monday might not be too bad. 66, some thunderstorms possible. We are watching possibility of a few strong storms on Monday. We'll keep an eye on that for you as we get closer. And then we see a cooling trend for a bit. 53 Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, maybe some showers, down to 37 Thursday. And then we try and warm up, but these temperatures are actually right about average as we wrap up next week. 45 on Friday, maybe some showers next Saturday, 46 and 42 next Sunday. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly on Thursday announced nearly $3 million in support for kids exposed to drugs. The funds for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment will help better identify and support those children, increase public safety, and reduce overdose deaths. Governor Kelly says more than 140,000 Kansas kids live in environments of parents with substance use disorder, and an estimated 5,155 infants are born exposed to substances every year. A pipeline operator put a damaged section in Kansas back into service on Thursday, a little more than 3 weeks after a spill on December 7th dumped 14,000 barrels worth of crude oil into a rural creek. Canada-based TC Energy announced its completed repairs, inspections, and testing on its Keystone pipeline in northeast Kansas to allow a controlled restart of the section from Steel City, Nebraska, near the Kansas line, to Cushing, Indiana, northern Oklahoma. A court rules on a dispute concerning funding for Planned Parenthood in Missouri. Some Missouri lawmakers tried to stop Planned Parenthood from receiving any public funding, but Cole County Judge John Beadham ruled Thursday that the funding restrictions were unconstitutional and rejected the efforts. The issue was a bill passed by the Republican-led legislature and signed by Governor Mike Parson in February to stop reimbursing Planned Parenthood for health care for low-income Medicaid patients. You can find more on the previously passed budget bill by downloading the KOAM News Now app. Mercy Hospital in Joplin has a brand new Christmas gift. The hospital unveiled some new C-section units on the labor and delivery floor yesterday. Father Brian Strauss from St. Peter's attended the unveiling to bless the new spaces. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A California family welcomed a new member recently, a guide dog for their vision-impaired son. Now, the dog will help 9-year-old Wyatt navigate life a little easier. Molly Reel reports.
Oh, you want to play that game?
Wyatt Witchery has a new best friend.
I got your treats, don't ya?
A 3-year-old retriever named Shannon.
She likes food. She scarfs it down in 30 seconds. And she loves attention.
The 9-year-old from Elk Grove was born without vision. When his family dog passed away earlier this year, his mom, Kim, did some research and learned about Guide Dogs for the Blind's Canine Buddy program.
It's hard to explain just like how great of the program is.
The program matches specially selected dogs, like Shannon, to those who are blind or visually impaired as a companion pet, free of charge.
And we have to buy her food. That's about it.
Shannon isn't a service dog. She started training to be a guide dog.
But she kind of failed.
So she had a career change. Now her only job is to be there for Wyatt.
He seems happier. He has more desire to want to like take care of her, feed her, take her for walks, make sure she's taken care of. He's very concerned, you know, if she's okay or where she's at if she's not right next to him. So he's really just taken on like that responsibility of like being a dog owner.
She can do whatever she wants.
And when it comes to being boy's best buddy, Shannon is a bit of an overachiever.
He struggles to make friends as easy as most kids, not as easy as most kids do. He's not going to watch the latest movie or, you know, have those things in common. So it's just nice that he has like his own little built-in best friend, and all of his friends love her, and it's a great like talking piece for him. So she's just been great.
Well, Guide Dogs for the Blind say a good candidate for the K9 Buddy program is anyone over 5 years old with a visual impairment, an interest in having a dog, and the ability to provide a loving home. We'll be right back with more after this. Well, hundreds of bats are being released after spending the holidays in one woman's attic. Cold temperatures in Texas stunned and injured the bat population. Workers from the Houston Humane Society were able to scoop up some of these stunned bats. Many of them had fallen after going into hypothermic shock. The creatures were then given fluids and put in warming incubators before being moved into the wildlife director's attic. Interesting, from one attic to another. Well, it's being called a Christmas miracle. On Christmas Eve, a local Utah man was hiking near Waterfall Canyon and became separated from his dog, Nala. After a long search, he was not able to recover her before nightfall. Nala had to spend the night on the mountain. Early Christmas morning, Nala's owner began searching for her again. He was able to find her above a waterfall and unable to reach her, though. A search and rescue crew had to be called in. Nala was found alive. She was just cold and had a few minor injuries. It was a very happy reunion between dog and her owner.
We got a much cooler forecast for us today. 51, so we're about 20 degrees cooler than what we were yesterday, but mostly cloudy skies and calm winds, I think, is the key takeaway here. As we head into tonight, we hold on to the mostly cloudy skies, drop back down to a low of 41 degrees, and as we head into the New Year's Eve weekend, not bad, 60 for New Year's Eve day, mostly cloudy New Year's Day, but 62 up to 66 Monday. We're watching some thunderstorm chances. A couple of those could be a little stronger. We're keeping an eye on that for you. After that, though, we cool down. 53 Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, maybe a stray shower or two, and then we're down to 37 by Thursday, and we hold on to normal temperatures as we head into the end of next week. 45 Friday, 46 Saturday, and 42 on Sunday. We got a whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, 3 weeks after dumping 14,000 barrels worth of crude oil into a rural creek, crews finish repairs to the Keystone Pipeline in northeast Kansas.
We're upwards of 20 degrees cooler this morning than we were yesterday. No risk of breaking records today, but we still have a little bit of warm weather left. We'll break it all down coming up.
And Freeman Hospital West has a fleet of buses to take care of its fleet of workers, and they call it Fred.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 6 o'clock on a finally Friday.
All right.
It is finally Friday. It's so nice. It's a wonderful thing.
I was teasing Chris that it felt like a Monday and a Friday for me.
Yeah. Tanya, been off all week long, so
enjoying some vacation time back home.
Everybody's got to be able to take a little time off from time to time. I think I apologized earlier this week to the folks at home, but I've been battling some kind of cold or something like that, and boy, it just doesn't want to let go. Now, I know what it isn't. It's not anything serious. It's just a change in the weather, man. It does not want to let go, and it just said, you know what, Chris, you don't need to sleep at night. You don't need to do that. You don't need to focus at work. Just, So that's how it's been. So that's why I've been a little,
Well, and I haven't been here to tell you to take your vitamins and drink your OJ.
That's true. Without that kind of guidance, I am lost. Skywatch Storm Tracker got some showers out in south central Missouri, and those might even turn into some thunderstorms later today, but they will stay east of us. We will stay cloudy today, though, because of that. 38 in Joplin, north breeze at 30. Just let that soak in for a minute. We're not talking north breeze at like 30 with gusts of 50. It's a north breeze at 3. It's a lot calmer today, but also a lot colder today. 32 Iola Yates Center, Parsons, 37 Chitopa, 39 Miami, and up to 41 in Neosho. Despite some of the warmer temperatures on that map, we're still upwards of 25 degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago. Now for your morning drive, got a green light, will be cloudy, but no crazy winds. Roads are looking pretty good. Same for your drive home, no crazy winds, mostly cloudy. Roads are looking pretty good. Pretty calm day for us today. 20 degrees cooler than what we were yesterday, but that's all right. 51, still above normal, mostly cloudy today. Tonight, still above normal, but cool. 41 degrees as we rest under mostly cloudy skies. And a quick look at your 7-day forecast heading into the holiday weekend. 60 tomorrow. 47 tomorrow night for those New Year's celebrations. 62 New Year's Day. 66 Monday. You see the thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are pretty much a guarantee in the forecast for Monday, but there's the possibility a couple of them could be a little stronger. So we're keeping an eye on that for you. And then we have a cooling trend after that, as you saw. We're 50s and down in the 40s, even the 30s by next Thursday. So that's actually closer to normal. It's just going to feel really cold because we've been spoiled the last few days, which we deserve it after what happened last week. We deserve a little bit of spoiling.
Yeah, we do.
From Mother Nature. She owes us.
Yes. I'm looking forward to a mild weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty
A little
nice.
bit of a break.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, authorities in Vernon County, Missouri issue multiple charges against an El Dorado Springs man in connection with a home invasion. On December 21st, deputies responded to a 911 call of a home intruder with a gun. Authorities say the suspect stole items from the home and left shortly before deputies arrived. A day later, authorities searched the home of 39-year-old Tommy Toothaker and found items taken from the victim's home and a firearm believed to have been used in the crime. Prosecutors have charged Toothaker with armed criminal action, first-degree robbery, first-degree burglary, unlawful possession of a firearm, and stealing. He is currently in the Vernon County Jail without bond. A semi hauling grain crashes just off Missouri 126, launches itself over a driveway. Just before noon on Thursday, reports of a tractor trailer hauling grain crashed off of Missouri 126 near State Route M in western Barton County and alerted the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Neighbors tell troopers the hauler took out a utility pole as it left the road and launched off a culvert over a driveway and came to a rest with the trailer disabled and broke in half. The driver suffered no injuries. Now, wreckers were summoned to transfer the grain from the broken trailer before removing the crashed tractor trailer. Well, it's business as usual following repairs to the Keystone Pipeline. A pipeline operator put a damaged section in Kansas back into service on Thursday, a little more than 3 weeks after a spill on December 7th dumped 14,000 barrels worth of crude oil into a rural creek. Canada-based TC Energy announced its completed repairs, inspections, and testing on its Keystone Pipeline in northeast Kansas to allow a controlled restart of the section from Steel City, Nebraska, near the Kansas line, to Cushing in northern Oklahoma. Mercy Hospital in Joplin has a brand new Christmas gift. The hospital unveiled some new C-section units on the labor and delivery floor. Father Brian Strauss from St. Peter's attended the unveiling to bless the new spaces. And you may not know Fred, but Freeman Hospital West certainly does. Joplin's largest employer is making sure its more than 4,500 workers can get from their vehicles to the office in a matter of minutes. If you visit Freeman Hospital West in Joplin, you might notice a fleet of buses making its way around the area. Fred, or Freeman Rapid Employee Delivery, moves employees from a lot south of McIntosh Circle Drive to the hospital's main entrance, the Freeman Cornell Bashore Cancer Institute, and the David A. Ball Medical Building.
It's very beneficial to us as we provide a lot of parking for our patients. Most of the employees park in the back lot, and Fred delivers us quickly and rapidly.
On average, a Fred bus drives 15,000 miles each year to move employees around the hospital campus. Coming up later in the show, we'll take you in for a closer look at the Fred Transit program. A portion of the Joplin City Hall will soon get some remodeling done, and that's only part of the plan. An office on the first floor of Joplin City Hall will be remodeled to provide working space for an expanded team to address declining neighborhoods. In 2020, the Joplin City Council set a goal of stabilizing and cleaning up deteriorating neighborhoods as part of a strategic plan. The plan to remodel a space in the City Hall building is the start of that goal.
So the citizens have asked for additional code enforcement and neighborhood improvements, and in order to do that, we of course need the staff capacity to run those initiatives and programs, and they've authorized to use the proposition use tax funds to bring those staff on. Of course, we need to house those staff in spaces, so we're going to remodel this area, the first floor, to locate those staff.
City Council last week also advanced on a first reading a construction services contract with Industrial Electric, allowing more than $78,000 for the remodeling work. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, former President Donald Trump manages to run out the clock on the January 6th committee's subpoena for him, but another House committee has plans to make his tax records public. Plus, it was a year full of big health news, from Mpox to a COVID vaccine for the youngest children. We take a look back on the biggest health stories of 2022. And Chris takes a look ahead at your spring-like holiday weekend forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, former President Trump has outlasted the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. Trump will not have to comply with the committee's subpoena after all. But another House committee investigating the former president plans to make Trump's taxes public this week. Skylar Henry has more details.
The committee investigating the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol has dropped its subpoena of former President Donald Trump, asking for documents and his testimony. Committee Chairman Benny Thompson issued a letter to Trump's attorneys saying, "I hereby formally withdraw the subpoena issued to former President Trump and notify you that he's no longer obligated to comply or produce records in response to said subpoena."
The Select Committee stands adjourned.
The panel wrapped up its work before it could compel Trump to provide the documents and testimony it sought. But after 18 months and more than 1,000 interviews, the committee issued a final report last week, finding the central cause of January 6th was one man, former President Donald Trump. The January 6th committee isn't the only one that's wrapping up its work. The House Ways and Means Committee has one more piece of business to conduct before Republicans take control next week and shut down Trump-related investigations. The committee will be releasing Trump's tax returns to the public Friday after voting last week to do so.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, I have 24 yeas, 16 noes.
The committee spent years fighting in the courts to get the documents. The Supreme Court ruled in November that Congress had a right to the taxes as part of its oversight role. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Ways and Means Committee investigation showed that until the investigation began, the IRS had failed to audit then-President Trump as required by law. That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
We are upwards of 20 degrees cooler now than what we were yesterday. In fact, yesterday we broke our record high. It was set back in 1984 at 69. We made it up to 71. No records in danger of being broken today, but we're still above average. We'll take a complete look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Well, we've got a much colder start to our day, but a much calmer start too. We're not dealing with significant wind gusts. We don't have the wet roads. We're looking really good today compared to what we had been over the llast few days. MoDOT camera I-44 and Rangeline, you can see, looks really good out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker for us is clear, and out to our east, you can see across south central Missouri where there's some showers, and they'll eventually turn into some thunderstorm activity out there for them, but that's going to be roughly right here along I-44 and southeast, and we will remain dry from all of this. In Joplin right now, again, colder today than we were yesterday, but still above normal. 38, feels like 38 because the north breeze is only at 3 miles an hour. It's not north at 30, gusting to 50, it's just 3, which is pretty decent. I like that. It's a little bit better. We're up to 32 in Iola Yates Center, 33 in Chanute, 37 Chatopa, 39 Miami, 41 in Neosho, and some 37s in Lamar and Carthage as we start our day. All of us, again, upwards of 20 to 25 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago, but again, we're still above average. MoDOT camera, once again, looking good for your morning drive. We're not bad. We have a green light. We're going to be cloudy, a little dreary looking out there, and a little cool, but no crazy winds, no wet roads to contend with. Same for your drive home. Mostly cloudy to just plain old cloudy. Otherwise, a green light for that drive home as we are looking pretty decent. As we go through the rest of the day, making it up to about 51 for a high, so no records in danger of being broken today. It will be mostly cloudy to just plain old cloudy as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, the same as into tonight. Mostly cloudy skies down to 41 for a low. And if you're planning anything for New Year's Eve, well, we're looking at a low of 47, but hour by hour, it's not bad. At 6 p.m., it's 51. 49 at 9 and 48 by midnight. So when you're ringing in the new year, yeah, you're going to want a jacket, but it could be a lot worse this time of year. It could be a lot colder, so that's not too shabby, I don't think. So let's take a quick look at the future track. You can see through the weekend, other than the cloud cover, we're staying mild, we're staying good, we're staying dry. Our best chance of showers, thunderstorms, any kind of precipitation period is going to come Monday. So here we are, 6 a.m. Monday. Looking pretty good temperature-wise, as you can see, back well above normal. And then as we head into the late morning and afternoon hours, we start to see showers and some thunderstorms start to overspread the area. And again, some of these could be on the strong side. So this is 5 o'clock. Still got a few showers and thunderstorms out there. And then as we head into the late evening hours, that moves on out. The bulk of any severe activity, at least right now, is expected to be focused to our east and southeast. But again, we're going to get in on some of the early action, and so we could see a strong storm or two out there. After that, we just get cool. So 60 tomorrow, 62 for New Year's Day, 66 Monday with those thunderstorm chances, and we sink back to close to normal temperatures, 53 on Tuesday, 42 next Wednesday, maybe a shower, 37 on Thursday. And again, these are colder than where we have been. We've been pretty spoiled, but these are normal. 45 Friday, 46 next Saturday, maybe a shower or two, and 42 by next Sunday, and partly cloudy skies. We have a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the CDC says the COVID hospitalization rate for seniors on Christmas Day reached a level not seen since last February. Public health officials are expecting a spike in COVID and other respiratory viruses like RSV and flu right around now, following last weekend's holiday gatherings. A large-scale study in JAMA Oncology found cancer patients had a greater risk of COVID infection and worse outcomes than patients without cancer. Risk was highest for people with blood cancer and any cancer patient undergoing treatment. Researchers say triple vaccination lowered the risk of poor outcomes from COVID-19. And some tuneful therapy for recovering stroke patients and their caregivers, singing. A study out of the University of Helsinki found singing-based group rehabilitation can support communication and speech production, as well as increase social activity. It was also found to relieve the burden on caregivers in a first-ever participation and evaluation of their well-being. Well, from an outbreak of Mpox to a new nationwide mental health hotline to babies getting the COVID vaccine, reporter Bradley Blackburn looks back at the year's top health stories.
The CDC eased COVID-19 guidelines in August. Among the changes, people exposed to an infected person no longer needed a quarantine. The CDC director also announced an agency overhaul after reviewing its COVID response.
I think our public health infrastructure in the country was not up to the task of handling this pandemic.
In May, the White House lowered flags to half-staff to mark 1 million American deaths from the virus. But there was progress against the pandemic in 2022. Children under 5 and as young as 6 months old became eligible for the vaccine. A different respiratory virus called RSV surged in the fall in at least 36 states. At the same time, flu hospitalizations climbed to their highest level in a decade, leading health experts to warn of a so-called triple-demic of COVID, flu, and RSV over the holidays.
What happened is we had a 2.5-year window where nobody got anything, and so everybody is getting it at once.
As respiratory illnesses increased, there were shortages of amoxicillin, a common antibiotic used to treat secondary bacterial infections such as sore throats and ear infections. In August, the White House declared Mpox, recently known as monkeypox, a national public health emergency after thousands of Americans became infected with the virus.
It was one of the most painful experiences of my life.
2022 had the first case of polio in nearly a decade, and a 57-year-old man lived for 2 months after becoming the first person to receive a heart transplant from a pig.
He said, I don't want to die. And he said, if I do, maybe you'll learn something to help others.
The FDA proposed ending the sale of menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars in the U.S. The agency also ordered Juul to pull its e-cigarette products from the market, but the company is appealing the decision. A nationwide suicide and crisis lifeline launched with a 3-digit number, 988, to make it easier and faster for those in need to get help. Millions of Americans with mild to moderate hearing loss can now get hearing aids over the counter. And in November, Dr. Anthony Fauci spoke at the White House podium for the last time.
Every day for all of those years, I've given it everything that I have.
The man who became the face of the U.S. response to COVID announced over the summer he would step down as President Biden's chief medical advisor, as well as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, a post he's held for 38 years. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
That's a look at some of the year's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we're a little bit colder to start our day. The MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline looking really good, though, so far. We got clear roads and not so clear skies, but that's all right. We're not going to see any rain. In fact, rain showers and any thunderstorm activity is staying off to our east across south central Missouri, and roughly right along this line and down to the southeast is where it's going to stay. We'll stay dry for now. 38 in Joplin feels like 38 because that wind is not howling. It is a gentle breeze out of the north at 3 miles an hour. That weak cold front did make it cold. We had 38 Center, 32 Iola Parsons, 39 in Miami, Neosho, and 37 in Carthage. All of us upwards of roughly 20 to 25 degrees colder than where we were 24 hours ago, but we're still above normal. Now for your morning drive, we do have a green light. We're looking pretty darn good out there, other than the fact it's going to be cloudy, a little dreary looking, but no crazy winds, no wet roads, nothing like that. And it's the same for your evening drive. Mostly cloudy, reasonable temperatures, no crazy winds, no rain, nothing like that. Going through the day, 51 for the high, up to 48 by noon, and then by 5, and then 39 by 8. We'll be mostly cloudy to just plain old cloudy, but at least the winds are calm. Same situation heading into tonight. We drop back down to 41 under mostly cloudy skies. So, again, a little dreary looking, but it could be a lot worse. We know what it could be like because a week ago it was a lot worse because it was like -5 degrees. So I think 41's all right. 60 tomorrow, 47 for the low if you're planning some festivities. 62 on Sunday for New Year's Day, 66 Monday. Thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We're watching the possibility that a couple of these could be a little on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on that for you. I think the bulk of the severe weather threat on Monday should remain to our southeast, but we could get a couple of strong ones. Then we cool back. It gets cold, but it gets normal. We drop down to 53 Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, maybe a shower, and down to 37 by next Thursday, partly cloudy skies. We're back with another half hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, 3 weeks after dumping 14,000 barrels worth of crude oil into a rural creek, crews finish repairs to the Keystone Pipeline in northeast Kansas.
We are upwards of 20 to 25 degrees colder across the area this morning, still above average, so we got something going for us. We'll talk about today's forecast and the holiday weekend coming up.
And Freeman Hospital West has a fleet of buses to take care of its fleet of workers, and they call it Fred.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So much Friday. It's a good thing, right? Everybody's happy it's Friday. Happy it's Friday?
Yay! And it's almost New Year's Eve.
It is almost 2023. What happened?
Say goodbye to 2022. Welcome 2023. I'm sure everybody has some.
Oh, I know.
Have you made your resolutions yet?
I resolved to show up to work next year.
Me too.
That's the best resolution I can make, the best one I can keep. Yeah, and that's been like the surreal thing is, you've seen a couple of them. We've been working on a couple of new weather graphics here and there. And so when I was saving one of them, I saved it because it'll be next year. So I put, AM forecast thing 2023. And when I went to save them, like, holy cow. Like, it is almost 2023. That's just insanity. The good news is we're going to ring in the new year on a pretty mild note. Now, today we're a little cooler. We're at 38 in Joplin with a north breeze at 3 miles an hour. And it is cold across part of the area, but still above normal for some of us. 32 Iola, 38 Center, 39 Miami and Veneta, 39 Neosho Monette, and 37 in Carthage this morning. As we mentioned, puts all of us about 20 to 25 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago. And then for your morning commute, looking pretty good. Green light, mostly cloudy skies, if not just plain old cloudy skies. So a little dreary looking, a little cool, but no crazy winds to deal with. Green light for your drive home. So we're mostly cloudy. Looking pretty good there. Heading for a high today of 51, so about 20 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday, but still above normal by almost 10 degrees. So we'll take it. And heading into tonight, not bad. 41 for our overnight low, mostly cloudy skies. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. So it gets better for a little bit. 60 tomorrow, 47 for New Year's Eve, so if you're planning festivities, grab a jacket, but we should be dry, just cloudy. 62 to start the new year, 66 on Monday. We're watching thunderstorm chances. A couple of those could be on the strong side. We are keeping an eye on that for you. And then we cool down to normal, but it's just going to feel cold compared to where we've been. 53 Tuesday, 42 Wednesday, and 37 next Thursday. And look at Wednesday night's low, back down to 24. Now, again, that's going to feel absolutely frigid compared to where we've been, but that is actually right about normal for this time of year. So at least we're settling into normalcy, because I do not want Mother Nature to go, oh, shoot, I gave them spring a little too early, and then slap us with another Arctic blast to be like, let me make up for that.
No kidding, right?
So I'll take normal over an Arctic blast any day.
That's right.
Mother Nature's mischievous.
Normal, what is that?
Well, it's Thursday and Friday of next week.
We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, Planned Parenthood scores a victory in a Missouri courtroom over funding. Some Missouri lawmakers tried to stop Planned Parenthood from receiving any public funding, but Cole County Judge John Beadham ruled on Thursday that the funding restrictions were unconstitutional and rejected the efforts. The issue was a bill passed by the Republican-led legislature and signed by Governor Mike Parson in February to stop reimbursing Planned Parenthood for health care for low-income Medicaid patients. You can find more on the previously passed budget bill by downloading the KOAM News Now app. On Thursday, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announced nearly $3 million in support for kids exposed to drugs. Funds for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment will help better identify and support those children, increase public safety, and reduce overdose deaths. Governor Kelly says more than 140,000 Kansas kids live in environments of parents with substance use and disorder, and an estimated 5,155 infants are born exposed to substances every year. Well, it's business as usual following repairs to the Keystone Pipeline. The pipeline operator put a damaged section in Kansas back into service on Thursday. A little more than 3 weeks after a spill on December 7th dumped 14,000 barrels worth of crude oil into a rural creek. Canada-based TC Energy announced its completed repairs, inspections, and testing on its Keystone Pipeline in northeast Kansas to allow a controlled restart of the section from Steel City, Nebraska, near the Kansas line, to Cushing in northern Oklahoma. A portion of the Joplin City Hall will soon get some remodeling done, and that's only part of the plan. An office on the first floor of Joplin City Hall will be remodeled to provide working space for an expanded team to address declining neighborhoods. In 2020, the Joplin City Council set a goal of stabilizing and cleaning up deteriorating neighborhoods as part of a strategic plan. Plan to remodel a space in the City Hall building is the start of that goal.
So the citizens have asked for additional code enforcement and neighborhood improvements, and in order to do that, we of course need the staff capacity to run those initiatives and programs, and they've authorized to use the proposition use tax funds to bring those staff on. Of course, we need to house those staff in spaces, so we're going to remodel this area, the first floor, to locate those staff.
City Council last week also advanced on first reading a construction services contract with Industrial Electric, allowing more than $78,000 for the remodeling work. Coming up when KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, Shagun Bomadelli takes us for a closer look inside this project. Well, Joplin's largest employer is making sure its more than 4,500 workers can get from their vehicles to the office in a matter of minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Fred.
We start driving, we start at the back of the parking lot, and we go up and down all the rows for all the employees.
If you visit Freeman Hospital West in Joplin, you might notice a fleet of buses making its way around the area.
We have Freeman volunteers that ride our Fred shuttle bus service. We have student nurses, medical students that ride our service. It's not just Freeman employees, and so sometimes our parking lot is almost full.
Fred, or Freeman Rapid Employee Delivery, moves employees from a lot south of McIntosh Circle Drive to the hospital's main entrance, the Freeman Cornell B. Shore Cancer Institute, and the David A. Ball Medical Building.
It's very beneficial to us as we provide a lot of parking for our patients. Most of the employees park in the back lot, and Fred delivers us quickly.
Williams also says that the bus gives employees time to visit.
The bus actually provides a great atmosphere for us to communicate with other employees, kind of socialize, talk to them on our way to work and as we're getting off work and catch up.
Pretty enjoyable, really. You get to greet everybody every day. I mean, it's almost like we call this a Freeman family.
On average, a Fred bus drives 15,000 miles each year to move employees around the hospital campus. Well, this morning we're discussing AI at work.
Researchers in Hong Kong have developed a new program called Ada, and it's designed to help designers design the clothing of the future. They can just upload sketches of clothing along with samples of materials in various colors to Ada.
And within seconds, the program uses image recognition technology to create dozens of potential looks. Creators say the tool is already helping them save time while exploring new possibilities.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Are you for or against AI in the workforce? So far, 72% of you say absolutely not. You're against it, and 28% of you say you are for it. Well, make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and of course, take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
Have you ever walked down the Walmart store aisle and the floor cleaner, unmanned, has been coming towards you and been nervous? Like, is it gonna stop? And then all of a sudden it just stops.
Yeah, it's a little freaky.
Beeps at you till you move over, and then it goes on its way.
Yeah, because it still has the seat and the steering wheel because it was a manned vehicle, so.
The other day I saw a
little
man
spooky.
on it, and I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. All right.
It's the first time I'd seen a man on the unmanned vehicle. There you go.
All right. Well, hey, good to know. That's a look at our top news stories.
Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, Shannon Becker hits the studio to close out 2022 with his big 3 stories of the year. Think you know what they are?
Plus, we got a pretty mild weekend ahead of us after a cool start for us today. We'll break it all down coming up.
Welcome back. Time to take a look back at the year with our own Shannon Becker and his big 3 stories. Excited to see what was most exciting for the whole year. What did we tune in for?
So on the website, we've got the top 18 stories. So we do the top 10 and then just some bonus stories, but they're in order. So you can check those out on the website. But we're going to take a look at the big 3 right now for the year. All right. Number 3 this year, it was right there, late October, early November, everybody remembers this. The Silver Dollar City train that overturned. These were images from one of my really good friends from here in town. They actually happened to be one of the 160 people on the train. No one was seriously injured, if you can believe that. Everyone was out of the hospital the next day that was getting checked out. That train, all the cars but 2 overturned out of the 7. Scary situation.
I've rode this train before.
Oh, everybody
and part
has.
of the train ride, they go by a train that's like wrecked, and they have this fun story that goes along with that.
Now they have another one.
Yeah, so I'm like, what does the conductor tell people now? Because this train is actually wrecked too.
Yeah, I don't know if the train is back open as of yet. I'm sure it's going to take a long time before they get that back up. But since it was private property, it's handled different than a normal railway would be. So it's not necessarily full disclosure on something like that.
They might have taken part in that moonshine on the stuff.
Oh, that could be. And them dang bald knobbers. Got to watch out.
Oh, yeah, it was the bald knobbers.
Our number 2 story, Joplin News First. It's a story that we started talking about 2 days before it really broke. I'd heard a friend in Northwest Arkansas had told me a missing pregnant woman from Maysville, Arkansas. And her boyfriend had spoken and it said some interesting things. So I put out the missing person poster. It was a story we actually broke first before anyone in Northwest Arkansas. The night before the body was discovered of the missing pregnant woman. It was discovered in McDonald County, And then we had a press conference that we attended there in Benton County at the Sheriff's Office, and then we were live that evening there at the residence. The woman, Ashley, was abducted, and then a woman from McDonald County cut her newborn baby out of her womb. The baby did not survive. A lot of people don't, you don't follow up on this story, know they claim the baby was theirs. They actually had a funeral in Anderson the day before they were arrested on federal charges now being held. It's going to be one of those stories that will, before anything happens in court, it's going to be a while. But it'll be one of those things we'll all never forget, the tragedy of Ashley Bush. Wow. Our number 2 story, Joplin News First. And for the year, our number 1 story, Joplin police officers. 3 officers shot at 2 different locations in an exchange of gunfire.
I think so.
We were there
this
moments
one
after
seems
it
like
happened. You see, this is our footage. This is one of those stories I was not in a hurry to break because I knew being there, it was going to be nothing you wanted to break and tell families before they were notified. We waited about 2 hours when I knew that the wives were going to the hospital. What had occurred here at the Kohl's parking lot after an incident at the Buckle. And then Captain William Davis, in a shootout, killed the suspect. Rick Hershey was also injured critically. He's now he's recovered still, but we did lose Jake Reed and Ben Cooper. That was on March 8th. Now, there's a little bit more interesting part of the story I wanted to break today. They are putting a memorial where the shooting took place. And just a couple of weeks ago, we were there as they were laying the footing for what will be a memorial bench. It's been created by Quality Memorials. They're donating it. Also monies from G&H Concrete and then Mount Hope Cemetery. It's got the numbers of the officers, and this is the actual bench. It's already been created in memory of Ben Cooper and Jake Reed, and that will be placed possibly this next month in January, maybe even in February. The concrete's cured, but it will be placed there on the property where that shooting occurred, that tragic day that, honestly, that we'll never forget. All of us will never forget. So that's our big 3 for the year. Joplin News First, live and breaking stories.
I have to tell you, seeing that the concrete with their names on it just sent chills down my spine again.
It's and you know, it's been since March, but think of what the families go through every day, missing someone like that, and it breaks my heart. It really does, truly. So.
All right. Well, it's been wonderful having you with us on Fridays, and if you'll stick around, we'll talk to you again on the Fox Show.
Yeah, and I've been here almost a year. Can you believe it?
It's awesome.
January 15th will be a year. So.
Yeah, love having you. All right, we'll be right back. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Major Willie Jones. The native of Independence, Kansas, served in the Army from 1952 to 1972. This highly decorated veteran earned a number of awards, including a Commendation Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, a Bronze Star, and a Presidential Unit Citation. To Major Willie Jones, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
All right, we got a lot of celebrations today. We begin in Cherryvale with Jaylee Ann Wan celebrating birthday number 1. Happy birthday, Jaylee.
And Oakland O'Banion is turning 1 year old this year. What a cutie there in Arma, Kansas. Happy birthday coming from your great mama.
And we've got Madeline Pryor celebrating birthday number 7. Madeline looks a lot warmer in that photo than what it is right now. Happy birthday.
All right, and Serenity is 7 strong this year. What a pretty picture there of her in Joplin. Happy birthday from Mama, Nanny, and all of your sisters.
We've also got Rowan Miller celebrating birthday number 12. Happy birthday, Rowan.
All right, happy birthday, Rowan, and happy 26th birthday going out to Joey Forkner. Joey is in Joplin.
Over in Thayer, we've got Dakota Trout celebrating birthday number 26. Dakota, a very happy birthday.
Kenzie Cohen celebrating birthday number 29 this year. What a lovely family photo there. Kenzie is in Parsons, Kansas with love from Dad, Dana, and all of your siblings.
We've also got Amy Utley celebrating birthday number 56 in Iola. Amy, happy birthday.
All right, Lois Rada celebrating birthday number 91 this year. Looking great there, Lois, in Thayer, Kansas. And we had Dakota earlier here, turning 26. This is Dakota's grandmother.
All right, and then we have John Hout, our national sales manager here at KOAM, celebrating a birthday today. John, a very happy birthday. When I first started in news many years ago, his son, John Hout, trained me on how to do graphics for newscasts. That was a very long time ago. That was 20 some odd years ago. So happy birthday, John. I hope it's a great one for you.
All right. Happy birthday, John. Paul and Lindsay Morris are celebrating their 6th anniversary this year. I love the photo there. They're in Columbus. Happy anniversary.
And we've got Francis and Ellen Jackson celebrating their 50th anniversary in Yates Center. Francis and Ellen, a very happy birthday, both of you.
All right. In Columbus, Ruth Hale celebrating birthday number 80 this year. Hope it's a great one for you.
We've also got Sarah Langford celebrating in Carterville, and Barbara Goni celebrating number 82 in Oswego. This is a belated birthday wish, but it's never too late to celebrate. Now, if you want to continue to celebrate or help us celebrate with you, Tanya's going to tell you how to do that.
That's right. All you have to do is email us those birthdays at koamtv.com or send them to birthdays. Don't forget the S on that, at koamnewsnow.com.
And while you're on our website checking out all the really awesome stuff it's got to offer, take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get great deals from local businesses. Additionally, you get a birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. Just go to koamnewsnow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. All right, let's take a look outside. And we can do that without having to go outside. And you don't want to if you don't want to, because it's a little chilly this morning. Quite a few cars now on the highway. This is the MoDOT camera, I-44 and Range Line looking westbound. We got a few more travelers out there, but looking pretty good. Skywatch Storm Tracker clear on our level. We've been showing you this activity out to our east across south central Missouri. This shower and eventually thunderstorm activity will remain to our east and southeast for today. So we'll get the cloud cover off of it, but we'll otherwise be dry. We're 38 in Joplin right now with a north breeze at only 3, so much better than what we've seen the last couple of days. Across the region, it is a colder start for us this morning. 38 Center, 31 Iola, 32 Parsons, 37 Chautauqua, 39 Miami, Neosho, 37 in Monette and Carthage. And again, we're all about, say, 20 to 25 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago, but we're still above normal. In fact, yesterday, we broke our record. We set a record high in 1984 of 69, and yesterday we broke it. We reached 71 degrees. Can you believe that? If you're driving to work this morning or anywhere else this morning, it's going to be a little dreary looking, a little cloudy, a little cool, but we got a green light. No crazy winds, no wet roads, nothing to worry about. Same for your drive home. So some good driving weather out there for us today. We're heading for a high of 51. Again, we'll be mostly cloudy, just plain old cloudy today, so not a lot of warming going on, but still above normal for this time of year. Same for tonight, still above normal, but not bad otherwise, down to 41 for our low. And if you're celebrating the new year, we're looking at a low of 47 for New Year's Eve, and hour by hour, here we go. 6 p.m., we're looking at 51. By 9, we're down to 49, and by midnight, time to ring in the new year, we're at 48 degrees. We'll be mostly cloudy all night long, but we'll be dry. But with it being a little cooler, you might want to grab a jacket or 2 or 3. If you're like me, that's really cold. I'm putting on the heavy coat. That's if you're staying up to celebrate. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Sounds like a reasonable plan, doesn't it? All right, actually, you know what? I have a couple extra seconds. Let's back this up. So we go into the weekend. We're going to be cloudy, but we're going to be mild. Not too bad. I wanted to talk about our rain chances on Monday real quick. So Monday morning, we see the system starts to work into the area. We start to see some showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Really, the biggest severe threat should remain to our southeast. But we're going to be close enough that we could get a strong storm or 2 on Monday, and that's why we are keeping an eye on that for you. We're up to 60 tomorrow, 62 New Year's Day, 66 Monday. We'll keep an eye on those thunderstorm chances for you. Again, I think the biggest severe threat should remain to our southeast, but we could still see a strong storm or 2. 53 Tuesday, so we start to cool down. 42 Wednesday, maybe a shower, and 37 by next Thursday. But even though these temperatures much colder than what we've seen, they are actually a lot closer to normal for this time of year. We've got a lot more coming your way right after this.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, country star Jimmy Allen talks with us about the New Year's Eve special that he'll co-host right here on CBS. And director Mary McCartney discusses her new documentary on the legendary Abbey Road Studios and being there with her dad Paul McCartney. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, quick check of our forecast today. 51 degrees. We are going to be 20 degrees colder than what we were yesterday, but still above average. Mostly cloudy skies, calm winds. Calm winds heading in tonight down to 41 for our overnight low. We'll still be mostly cloudy. And as we look ahead at that 7-day forecast, are up to 60 tomorrow, 47 for New Year's Eve, so not bad. Jacket weather for sure to ring in the New Year. 62 New Year's Day. Watching thunderstorm chances Monday. A couple of those could be on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on for you. 66, then we cool off. Back to normal. Cold, but normal. 53, 42, and then 37.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making cheesy crab poppers in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. We're going to meet the women who are working to keep usable items out of landfills while filling homes and hearts of those in need. That's next on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, our own Shannon Becker heads back into the studio to wrap up the week with his big 3 stories of the year.
And the experts say be smart and be aware when it comes to smart toys. We'll tell you what that means. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
All right, and we're going to do it again today at noon.